Hi, welcome into my channel. This channel is about astronomy. I'm not filming myself straight. I'm not looking like this always. It is strange for me. And I'm saying like a coffee science. This video is against the black hole that are in the middle of the galaxies.
And in fact, if you want to see a black hole tonight, go outside, look in the direction of Sagittarius. That's where we have the center of the galaxy. And a black hole weighing perhaps 2 to 4 million times the mass of the sun, lurking right at the center of our own backyard.
I cut from some video and I introduced it in my video from four well-known physics guy. I say that in the middle of the galaxy there is a big black hole.
Right. Implicating a supermassive black hole.
Supermassive black hole.
Yes. And our black hole is less massive than the one in the center of the Andromeda galaxy, our nearest big galaxy.
Do we have black hole envy?
Well, I think we do. Yeah, some black hole.
So why they do not know acceleration is a space-time relation, not a mass dependency. So this small rock will fall the same time with this big rock in 10 meters in 1 second. So now this is what they do not know. When you have a aircraft, you compound the space-time vectors, not considering the forces, not considering the masses. In another way, with the same mass like this, you can produce many forces. Because the force is defined by space-time, a space-time relation, not a mass. The same mass, but many forces. The same mass, my hand, if you cut it, you have a same mass, but I can pull this with a force, and I can pull this, the same mass, many forces. The same mass, many forces. So the compounding on the aircraft, it is a vectorial compounding of the aircraft, because you do not care. The aeroplane, the jet plane is the same plane with the same mass, but it pulls out many trajectories and many speeds. Okay, so you compound the trajectory movements. So now watch another guy that's saying that in the middle of the black hole is in the middle of the galaxy is a black hole.
Some of them, they're detached from galaxies, right?
They can be. I mean, oftentimes people think about black holes as these gargantuan structures that form from collapsed stars. There's a big one in the center of our Milky Way galaxy, weighs 4 million times that of the sun.
So now they are believing that this mass produces the force, but like a plane produces not the speed. The engine produces the mass, does not produce a circular movement, a constant movement. You see, the mass does not produce a constant movement. But now let me tell you, if you have a relation, vectorial space-time relation, now you must understand. I introduce in the video some pictures from galaxies. So in the center of each galaxy, they are saying now there is a black hole. Not understanding physics. Maybe they know the formulas, but they do not understand them, okay? So now you must understand there must be a relation between the middle of the center of the galaxy and the end of the galaxy. And I made these many circles. Let's say from 0 is the black hole, 40, 50, 60, 80, if you see I wrote that, and 100. There's 100,000 light years, in light years. And you have a star now. You have a star, 40, 50, 60, 80 different stars. And at 0 is the black hole. Now you are wrongly believe that there does not matter time. You are telling that this galaxy has 100,000 light years, but the relation is between space-time. So there is a function in 100,000 light years. So what I'm telling you, the black hole from the center can grab with the hand different temporal times at a 40,000 years, because they are years. In another ways, you are making this wrong, believing that now I have 33 years, okay, in autumn, 32, okay. So now you believing that I am sitting in the center of my temporal circles, and with my hand from the present, I can grab myself from where I'm at 1 year, 10 years. From now, I can grab myself. So or reverse, where the me when I was 10 years can grab this 20 years, 25, 30 years, 40, 32 years. So this is a function of time. If you put it 100,000 light years, you must have a function of time. You understand? So now you have a problem, because the mass from the center must reach a point like the 4,000 light years, 50,000 light years from, and all the range. You understand? So do you have a function of time when and this is a literally 100,000 light years. No, you don't put light, you put years. 100,000 years. So from an object, from some temporal existence can grab 100,000 years. So if you have a star near the black hole, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, billions of stars with billions of relation, a span of 100,000 years. So this, my friends, it is wrong, okay?
There's a supermassive black hole at the center of every galaxy.
Yeah.
But there's also other black holes that aren't necessarily in the center of galaxies.
Yeah, so these little ones were little, you know.
So now let me tell you what Einstein did, and you do not understand. Einstein, you see, force is not a relation between mass 1 and mass 2, but a vectorial relation between space-time. The force 10 meters per second compounds all the trajectory movements on the Earth, and this compounds them. They add to them, and they subtract to them. You see, you must understand the difference between this movement and this movement. You understand what I've told you. You can, okay, but if you know some physics, you have some neurons left in your mind, okay? So you cannot have this space-time relation a span of 100,000 light years. So you are believing that is a relation between mass, you see, and this is wrong, okay? So you are saying that in the center of the galaxy, why they did this? Because they are identified that the stars must be point-like. Our sun is a sphere, so they believe that somehow all the lights must be spherical. So this galaxy, they are saying that it is a gravitational system, like you are moving in a center, from a center, billions of stars. But this could not be possible to maintain, like this is Newton, okay? And it is not possible to maintain billions of stars in a cohesion in an object like this, billions of stars. And they are believing now, what is the connection between them? A big mass that stays. But I've told you that a mass is not, you not treat masses, the forces.
And in fact, if you want to see a black hole tonight, go outside, look in the direction of Sagittarius. That's where we have the center of the galaxy, and a black hole weighing perhaps 2 to 4 million times the mass of the sun, lurking right at the center of our own backyard.
The forces increases with speed, you maintain the mass. Even Newton did not understand this. It's a vectorial space-time relation, not a mass relation, okay? So the same mass can have many forces. And you see this tangent vector, centripede and centrifuge force, like this. The mass is defined by the centripede and centrifuge force, okay? You can pause here and read whatever, okay? And the vectors, high school physics, Maybe they do not know this. You understand the space-time relation, okay? So if this is a galaxy, you cannot believe that is a relation between masses, zero mass, and it is a relation, space-time relation. And I tell you that this is new. You can pause here and read also this, okay? So now I'm telling you Einstein. This is Einstein. Believe me or not, this is Einstein. Einstein did not equate electricity with energy. Einstein equated and you are believing that he made the force. He made the kinetic energy. This is Einstein. Everybody are believing that other thing. This is Einstein. You saw that you compound vectors, trajectory, space-time trajectory vectors. But when you have bodies that have more than 1 second with the speed of light, what I'm telling you, I've told you in my previous video, you have a rock from Earth Moon rock and you hit a mass that has a span with 1 second with the speed of light, like in these galaxies that you are believing that they are colliding, these galaxies. You are believing that they are merging, but if they have 100,000 light years from the middle of the galaxy at the back ends of the galaxy, it must be propagated something. And this is what Einstein asked himself. This is, if you know only the speed of light, this is a connection at the speed of light. It is a connection at the speed of light. So now you understand what Einstein simply made. He took the kinetic energy. If you look at the equations of Einstein, light is kinetic energy of movement. So it is not electric energy, it's kinetic energy with mass and equated to c squared. Because if you have two rocks like this, you compound the Newtonian compounding, you hit the rocks in Newtonian compounding, but the transfer of the space-time information, the direction, the download of information, the rock will impact this rock and it will tell it go in that direction because I gave you this momentum, impulse, momentum. So now if you treat bodies that are big, like more than a second, you must treat the speed of light because the transfer, you cannot presuppose that this transfer is bigger than the speed of light. So now if you hit two rocks that have more than 1 second the speed of light, you compound the vectors like in old times, like Newton, like in high school physics, compounding of the vectorial compoundings. And now you must treat the speed of a download. So now you treat the speed of download is the speed of light. So now you understand you have two parts of vectorial parts, and the field of c square is like what adds the quantity that it is instead of 10 meters per second. So of any movement trajectory, you suppose that this is a vector 300,000 kilometers per second square, because all the movements of Earth in Earth are compounds with this 9 meters per second. And doesn't matter when what planet you are. You compound in a traditional manner these vectors. And now these vectors like this, add and subtract them, okay? So now if you I explain to you Einstein, you understand? So now if you maintain the compounding of the vectors, but you take the transfer c squared. So now the medium when you are making the impacts of kinetic energy is a light medium. And this is what Einstein asked himself, because it is not fair for this. I read this book, this Einstein words. It is not fair that you understand that the Earth touches this rock with no speed, practically. It imprints a space-time trajectory, downward trajectory, but the connection is speedless. In old times, Newton did not knew the speed of light, the 300,000 kilometers, and this speed comes from some equation, maybe okay. So now you disconsider the 10 meters per second vectorial ray that will add and discharge all the movement, or charge the movement with meters per second space time, not mass. So now Einstein said this new constant is not 10 meters per second, will vary at Mars, Moon 3 meters per second, and all the planets have calculated meter per second. But it's a centripetal and centrifugal force to the motion of the planet, okay? That's why this body has a force of like this, okay? So now, they were tricking themselves, supposing that empty space you have the speed of light, but Einstein did not say that you ignore the medium of ether medium. He said we cannot treat the medium of ether if you take the speed of light constant. What this means is the speed of light is the medium. So the medium is composed by the field made from light. This is what Einstein said. And now you are tricking yourself, supposing, but if you suppose that the space-time relation with forces and masses that decreases by the distance of the planet, what is this medium? Because it is not empty space. So if you approach the moon, you say that you may go through the void, but this void has meters per second. 3 meters per second at the approach of the moon, but say it is something. It is a field, it's a force field that angranates you in the trajectory of the moon with 3 meters per second. So how now do you say this void? Because it's something that has 3 meters per second, has time, has anger to compose your vector, trajectory vectors, and you do not care if you approach the moon only by compounding of the vector. You do not care about your masses. So you compound only your vector to go on the moon, okay? So now Einstein says you discard the spatial attraction of moon, Mars, and things like this, and you have a simple equation, but the medium is not the ether, how they are believing. The medium is the speed of light. So what is the speed of the connection between the Earth and the speed of light? Because you do not have... and now this speed is a force field by area. And this will vary with each compounding of traditional compounding of the vectors. In another way, you suppose that the field is a speed of light field with a force per volume, and you take the masses of the planet that rotate inside this field. So this field is something, it is not nothing empty, pure void. Philosophical, there's nothing. Object without a concept is nothing. A Kantian view, or a concept or an object without a concept, or a concept without object is nothing. But this is not nothing, pure space, void. It is a space over time relation. So when you approach a body, there's a field, there's something. But you do not see with your eyes, but you do not see the electromagnetic waves of radio waves, but they are existing, okay? And they are calculated by Einstein. So now I'm telling you, they are saying that, you see, this is the equation of Einstein. You are believing that Einstein bended space-time, did not bend space-time. It's more absolute than you are believing. The absolute is the speed of light, absolute. This is a vectorial relation, traditional relation between any masses of impacts and kinetic energy of movement. Einstein made a kinetic, you can look up his formulas, okay? Impulses, kinetic energies of movement. So Leibniz movement equation. But now you treat the speed of light because from the Earth-Moon distance there is a second. So you cannot have the field to be temporal, untemporal, like the connection between the Earth and the Moon. So it's temporal. So if you treat like in old times, so these temporal emissions or this old ether, it is light.
Right.
Implicating a supermassive black hole.
Supermassive black hole.
Yes.
That's-
And our black hole is less massive than the one in the center of the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest big galaxy.
Do we have black hole envy?
Well, I think we do. Yeah, some black hole.
And now you understand that if you emit from the middle of the galaxy, how they are saying it must be emitted with the speed of light. And in a galaxy that has 100,000 light years, from the center must be 100,000 light years. So, but this field decreases. The light diminishes with distance. That's why the field decreases with distance. So, can you have power to make a function over 100,000 light years, and then and you understand that the galaxies are small.
Some of them, they're detached from galaxies, right?
They can be. I mean, oftentimes people think about black holes as these gargantuan structures that form from collapsed stars. There's a big one in the center of our Milky Way galaxy, weighs 4 million times that of the sun.
The galaxy are simply stars putting clouds in our galaxy that you call galaxy heaven by the old times. You invented these terms to rename some stars. Like Saturn has rings, these galaxies have there are clouds full of rocks and stones and always and crystals full. There is not like our sun, and they are producing light. And so you cannot put in a mirror telescope only one day with the speed of light. Light diminishes with distance, and I explained to you Einstein. So in the middle of black hole there is not a galaxy. There is not a black hole. And if you see light, there is no black hole. Okay. So now, how can from the present I can reach myself without 100 years or 80 years from this present? How? With the gravity waves, crazy gravity waves, your crazy gravity waves, okay?
There's a supermassive black hole at the center of every galaxy.
Yeah.
But
we
there's
think-
also other black holes that aren't necessarily in the center of galaxies.
Yeah, so these little ones were little,
Little.
So when from I have 10 years to catch myself with the gravity waves in the present. So this gravity only being understood, collapses stars, makes big explosion, the Big Bang, the inflation, everything, because they do not understand this. It is not a relation of masses, it's a relation of forces. Force field. You can ignore the mass. You treat space over time, vectorial compounding. Goodbye, God bless. This is the way I make my videos. The Big Bang is false. The galaxies are simply stars. There are some galaxies that do not have a star in the middle because they do not need to be a gravitational rotating system. There is a cloud with this form. Like this is wrong, not because gravity, because atomical bond is connections. And they are stars, believe me, because it's true. Goodbye, God bless.